Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with the CEO and founder of Hemplucid, Chase Hudson. He's been a friend of mine for going on 6 years now. We met in person at Observing the Frontier, and since then, it's been nothing but cool stuff between us and a lot of the employees at the company Hemplucid. They've come out to the ranch, they volunteered, they learned some stuff, they dug some holes. I mean, they went the extra yard the last time they were out here. And I got Chase back. And the last time we did an interview, Chase, we got demonetized for about 7 months. It was a huge hit to our channel. It had nothing to do with our interview. I simply put the website title, the actual one. I usually use a bit.ly, but this time I wrote hemplucid.com or whatever down below. And as soon as I published it with that website, it said a dangerous website and they shut us down. Now, for years before that, I've been promoting Hemplucid by using the bit.ly, so it never said the actual website. So, but it took 6 or 7 months. We appealed, and then they switched it. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, the amount of censorship's insane. But welcome to the show.
It's insane. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate that. Sorry that you had that little hiccup. Last time we did the show and you told me that, I was shocked and I felt a little guilty. So sorry about that, but
hey, it was me that did it. I mean, and the algorithms had nothing to do with you, and the fact that we were in the right anyway. I mean, as far as I know, and you can clarify this for everyone, these the cannabinoids that you're working on, specifically CBD and Delta 8, those are legal in all 50 states. Am I correct?
CBD and the secondary cannabinoids are, but Delta 8 is not legal in all 50 states. So there is to make a long story short, the medical marijuana industry has really come after Delta 8 because Delta 8 has been cutting into the sales of the medical marijuana industry, because people are realizing that, Delta 8 or Delta 9 is great. Don't get me wrong. But there's been a big transition into Delta 8 because it's more widely available. It's not taxed as heavily. You don't have to go into a dispensary. And some of the feedback that we've been getting from it, and why we've continued to, push through all of these ridiculous hurdles and the legislation around Delta 8, is because people love it for pain and sleep, and it doesn't give you the headiness that people get with Delta 9. So we like to call it the working man's high, and our older demographic just absolutely loves Delta 8. So
I've used some of the strips, and they seem to be faster acting, and it's a really natural progression to a relaxed state. So it's not like all of a sudden, like 2 hours after you might take a gummy with Delta 9, that all of a sudden it hits you like a brick wall.
Right.
It's more of a gradual process, and like you said, it's less heady. It's more of a general calming. It's different. It is a different cannabinoid, and it's cheaper because it's being derived from the huge volumes of hemp, correct? That's currently being processed.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool. Delta 8, it really took the mainstream by storm, and I think it's awesome because now we're kind of educating the mainstream on all these secondary cannabinoids that have different impacts on our human endocannabinoid system. So it's like Delta 8 really took off, and now people are starting to do a little bit more research and educate themselves, and they're like, okay, well, what other cannabinoids are out there? So now we're starting to see a rise and popularity around CBN, which is great for sleep, CBG, which is a energy cannabinoid, CBGA, which is shown to have to improve your immune system. So just like we've discussed before, we're just barely scratching the surface of.
Yeah. Now the CBN, Leah has had sleep issues for her since her 20s, and this sleep stack that she's been using that's from Hemplucid has really been helping, and that's got the CBN in it. She also
Correct.
takes a gummy from our local dispensary that's been helpful, which has got Delta 9, but it's Delta 9 CBN.
Hmm.
And so it's the same thing, only your stack has a few more ingredients. So tell me about these specialty products that we've only recently had access to. You've got a sleep stack, a stress stack, and what's the third one?
Immune.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's important.
Yeah, yeah. So
So that's
we,
got to have mushrooms in it, right?
yeah, they all have mushrooms, functional mushrooms.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so um, we love the mushroom space. We love functional mushrooms. Functional mushrooms are adaptogen, and when combined with CBD, you get a tremendous effect. So we brought on three master herbalists from the school of Christopher's Herb Shop, and they helped us formulate these three products. And so our sleep product has CBN, functional mushrooms, and herbs. Same with our immune product. Our immune product has CBD, functional mushrooms as well, and then herbs. And our stress formula, this one is actually awesome. It's one of our actually most popular product of the stacks, but it works on the HPA axis system in your body. So your hypothalamus, your pituitary, and your adrenal cortex. So what's cool about that is it's
Is this the one we're talking about here that I'm showing?
yep,
Okay, cool.
yep, that one. It's so awesome. I mean, it's definitely my favorite, one of my favorite products. I mean, I like all of our products, but this one's great because it reduces the just everyday stress and pressure that we're all currently dealing with in this crazy reality we're living in. And it brings such clarity to the mind and relaxation that I've been shocked with how effective this product is and the feedback we've been getting from it. Um,
Sweet.
so
That
yeah,
sounds like a great product. And a lot of you out there are stressed out now. So these are all new products coming. You have a new logo. I used to love the old logo, but I kind of like the new one. It's almost incorporates like ancient symbology into a corporation, Hemplucid. And so I think I like that a little bit more because it goes a little deeper.
yep,
And so the products are going deeper, and you're now integrating with other specialists, specifically here, functional mushrooms. I like that. But it's all going all the way back to the beginning of Hemplucid. Literally, from testimonials on my videos, you have changed the lives of people. It's just that simple.
hmm,
People that have been suffering from pain or any or other ailments, I don't know what they are, simply by taking the original full plant spectrum CBDs, whether it be in the hemp oil or the MCT oil, literally changed a lot of our listeners' lives. And this is even a better story. Leah's sister, she hasn't seen her for about 6 years, about the
hmm,
time we've known each other. She finally
wow,
came out here for a week. She's from Long Island. Actually, she lives on the North Shore. And she came out here, and I was like, oh, yeah, the guys at Hemplucid are good friends of mine, because she saw a jar of Hemplucid on the table. And she's like, I buy Hemplucid on Long Island. And she at the dispensary where she goes, they have like 4 or 5 brands of CBD. And she went in there and talked to them about it. And she's like, well, I want the best and blah, blah, blah. And they pointed right to Hemplucid. They say, well, this is what you want. It's the full spectrum, full plant. It's not just isolate or CBD.
right,
This is the product. And she's been using it for about 5 years.
wow.
It just blew my mind, because I didn't know you were selling your products on the North Shore of Long Island.
Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a pretty big following on the East Coast, and yeah, I mean that's just, I mean that story, we get those stories all the time, and really the foundation of our company, we built off a very specific genetic, and that genetic, we partnered with a group out in Colorado. They are just fantastic guys. Been in the cannabis space, growing cannabis hemp since they could walk, and they were able to take a medical marijuana genetic and back crossed it with a hemp genetic and bred out the THC below that zero point 0.3 legal limit, and it just it's far superior than the mainstream hemp genetics that are out there. And
Yeah,
we
and
have
let's explain this a little better to the people so they can understand it. When you get some of the more interesting strains of cannabis, the one
mhm,
with Delta 9, they tend to have a very broad based spectrum of not only cannabinoids, but terpenoids. So the
correct.
terpenes, there's a high abundance of terpenes in most of these new types of cannabises. And then you have up to 96, sometimes up to 100 cannabinoids in some of these strains. When you just go with the straight hemp that's for fiber or for seed or something like that, almost no diversity of these cannabinoids exists
Mhm,
like in the cannabis. So these guys took, that the most terpenes, the most cannabinoids, and took out just the Delta 9 to bring it down to hemp
mhm,
status. And what you get is a plant medicine similar to Rick Simpson oil without the THC.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. There's still trace amounts of THC in it, but it keeps us under that legal limit that allows us to sell across the nation and internationally.
Now, what about the THC free products like Kalki? Do you use the same base and just remove the rest of the THC?
Yep, yep. So we actually um, Kalki doesn't exist anymore, but we have just two THC-free products. And instead of just going down the isolate road, we went down broad spectrum. So broad spectrum is so you have full spec, which is all the cannabinoids, all the terpenes. Then you get this middle ground that is broad spectrum, which is most of the secondary cannabinoids and most of the secondary terpenes with no THC. And then you have isolated CBD, which is just CBD isolated with CBD isolate, which is it's almost like, I hate to say it, but like a pharmaceutical, as far as it's pure, it's crystal, it's concentrated. And so our THC free products now are broad spectrum, which is made from the same oil that is made that makes the rest of our full spec products.
Okay, there. I just pulled a few of them up here.
Hmm.
And this is the water soluble THC free, organic THC free, broad spectrum.
Yep.
Okay. So that's pretty awesome. Now, one of my favorite products, and let me bring it up here, see if we can get it. Are these Delta 8 strips?
Yes.
I wasn't expecting anything from them at all. In fact, I was like, well, whatever. And they're just these like clear, I don't know how you can explain them, like the mint strips that you dissolve in your mouth.
Yeah, like Listerine breath strips.
Yeah, I dissolved one of these in my mouth like right after dinner once, and about an hour later, I was very impressed at how fast acting and how different it was from, let's say, smoking some cannabis.
Yep.
Um, they're fast acting. They're pretty inexpensive here. It's like $14 for 8 of them, so it's like $1.50 a strip, and that's just unbeatable. Now, these are THC free, the Delta 8, or I mean, what's going on with this?
Yep. So they're not THC free. So Delta 8 is a derivative of THC. So you have Delta 9, Delta 8, uh, Delta 10 even. You also have another derivative called THCO. So
But
these
if
all
I'm getting a drug test, is this going to make me hot, the Delta 8?
it will, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So the only
that's something we need to get out there.
yeah, the only products that we have that won't um, are the THC free products, even though there is some research that has shown that CBD and other cannabinoids will convert into the THC metabolite. So it's still, you got to be a little bit careful if you're a government worker or a DOT worker. It seems like over the last couple of years, some of these organizations have been pretty a little bit more liberal when it comes to their employees utilizing
Yeah.
THC-free products.
Now that's happened in Colorado. The state government is fighting back because people are being discriminated on because they have a legal thing in their system. It'd be like saying you can't work here because you went drinking this weekend.
Totally. Yeah.
And we tested you, and you went out to the bar, and you're like, yeah, it was Saturday, and I went to the
Right.
bar. And so they're fighting back in Colorado, but the legal THC states like Colorado, we're one of the states that banned Delta 8, correct? So
Correct.
and like probably Michigan and all the big
Yep.
cannabis selling states have
Yep.
banned this.
Yeah.
And
Colorado
that
was
means
the first.
that means if I go to your website, I won't be able to get it shipped here.
Correct. Yeah. Our system will not allow it.
Okay. So it's based in there. So if you go to the system and you can't ship it there, it's not because something's broken. It's because you're not allowed to ship it there.
Right. Yeah. Your state legislators have made that product illegal in your state.
Now, on your website, is there an easy way to determine what's legal in your state, or how does it work?
Yeah, if people go to the Delta 8 section and you try to order, it will know where you're at, and it won't even let you order the product.
Okay. Well, that's good news, because we don't want any people getting busted for buying from Hemplucid.
No, that's the last thing we want.
All right, so where's Hemplucid going from here? I know you made changes to the design. You got these new stacks. You're putting in functional mushrooms. It seems like you're very interested in more of a. Well, you initially started with the broad spectrum CBD, and because you wanted maximum nutritive effect, and now you're branching out into functional mushrooms and stuff. So where does it go from here?
Yep. So we're gonna start releasing more functional products with functional ingredients. So you're gonna see a lot more products come out towards the end of this year and the beginning of next year. We're gonna do a little bit more specific shot by solution functional. So we're gonna build out our immune category. We're gonna build out our sleep category, and we're gonna build out our stress category. So we have about 6 to 12 new products that will be coming out over the next 6 months to a year. So that's currently what we have going on.
Are you still doing the Well Aware Wednesday?
Yep, we're doing Well Aware Wednesday. So every Wednesday, we do a flash sale on various products that we carry. So yeah, look out for that. We release a newsletter, and then also we post it on social media. So keep an eye out for Well Aware Wednesday and we usually do like 30% off on various products throughout that day.
Yeah, it's really good deals. Another really good deal is if you watch the channel, you can always get 30% off of any product from Hemplucid's website by putting in coupon code BOOM. Is that all caps?
Doesn't matter. It can be all caps or lowercase.
Yeah.
Just BOOM at checkout. You'll get an additional 30% off your products because, we love you. We've had a long relationship, and we love your community, love your channel. You've been just so helpful in bringing awareness to our company, and like I think I said this on the last video, but you definitely were one of the guys who completely shattered my mind at the Observing the Frontier conference, and just it's like you helped me realize what's actually happening with the sun, and the whole IPCC hoax. And so again, there's so much love for you, so much love for your community, and
and that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to say, Chase, because it's very difficult. And I did the same thing much earlier than you did, but just going from like that one leaning one way to completely shifting your whole mindset and being like, wait a minute, maybe what I'm supporting is the problem.
Right.
And just to break through, and then to have the wherewithal to say, it's all right that I was wrong about everything. because now I can move forward. When a
Right.
lot of people are not willing to do that, I think that's a major problem with our society currently. There's a
Oh yeah.
lot of people not willing to say they may have been wrong.
Right. Right. And that just seeing the truth for what it is, that really gave us initially when we first started the company. That really gave us that like energy to really try to get this product out to as many people as possible. Because as as your community knows, things are going to get increasingly intense, and you have to have a healthy mind. You have to have a healthy body if you want to survive the transition. And CBD is, one of the things you can add to your daily regimen to start getting your mind and your body healthy.
Especially if you're getting into meditation. For a lot
Mhm.
of people, the first time they close their eyes, it's nothing but noise. So you
Right.
can use some of these plant medicines to help you learn to relax better, to clear your head. And I can attest to them being extremely beneficial. Not only that, it's been able to take some of our subscribers off of some of the pharmaceutical medication that it's not really necessary because it was just simply masking what needed to be fixed.
Right.
A lot
Right.
of these plant medicines actually fix the problem.
Hmm.
And also, you can stockpile them. You can have 10 or 15 vials of these in a cool, dark place that if something were to happen, it doesn't matter that you can't get to the doctor. You have, a 10-year supply of your medicine.
Right. Yeah, we actually saw a lot of people call in, excuse me, call in and order a ton of product when COVID first started, because some
Ah,
people were thinking the supply chain was breaking down. Um, but even the supply chain around pharmaceuticals were going to break down. So there was like this influx of people that were like, oh my gosh, I have to get off these pharmaceuticals and I need to transition over to a more holistic medicine.
yeah, and you have nothing to lose, guys. If you're trying to manage pain or sleep, or you have issues with stress or agitation, you might have a heart condition, give CBD a try. It's safe, it's effective. I don't think there are any adverse effects from taking
Mhm.
CBD ever reported.
Mhm.
Um, so it's completely safe, almost like cannabis is one of the safest plant medicines out there.
Right.
CBD is an even safer version of all the cannabis medicines.
Hmm.
And Hemplucid is rebranding. They're coming out with many different functional plant medicines that bring a broad-based spectrum of functional mushrooms with cannabinoids together to give you the best stress relief, the best sleep aid, and relaxation and tools like Delta 8, which again, we got to be clear here. Certain things are legal in some states and not in others. CBD is legal in all 50, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And Delta 8 is probably legal only in the non-cannabis legal states.
Yeah, I think we're up to maybe 20 to 25 states where it's currently illegal, and those are mostly the cannabis-friendly states, because those medical marijuana companies, they don't like when you introduce products that start chewing at their bottom line.
Yeah, indeed. But still, the bottom line is millions and millions of dollars. The amount of revenue from the cannabis industry in Colorado has eclipsed all expectations into the billions. It has been
Hmm.
able to fund our schools. Colorado has some of the best public schools in the country by bar none. We've dumped billions of dollars from the cannabis industry. 30% of the money from cannabis goes to schools.
Yep.
So you can literally change your state, fix all your economy through plant medicine. And I think that's at some point, because of the recession that we're in, because of inflation, it only makes sense to get these plant medicines federally legal,
Hmm.
so that we can generate the tax dollars that will be generated from industries that people really approve of. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? People don't
Totally.
like to pay taxes on gas. If you're going in
Totally.
there to pay 15% tax on your cannabis, you're like, so be it, because
Right.
it's so cheap in the state. In our state, because there's so many growers, the price of some of the best cannabis I've ever seen grown organically is cheaper than you can even imagine it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the future.
it's
And
a
once it goes
blessing.
federal, the price is going to come down even lower.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the next step. You got cannabis is blazing a trail, and then and it looks like, psilocybin is right behind that. We got MDMA, which, I think is going to be phase 3 clinical trial. Well, it's in phase 3 clinical trials right now for PTSD, and I think they're rolling it out into clinics 2023. So the this cultural revolution that we're going into, things are definitely changing, and psychedelics, cannabis, it's going to be the foundation of the new era.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Psilocybin, especially, another extremely safe plant medicine.
Mhm.
If the person administering it knows what they're doing. It's helped so many people, especially with PTSD. And the amount of people we neglected coming back from all the wars in the last 20 years is embarrassing. We could literally help hundreds of thousands of veterans with these products that cost very little. There's no research and development needed. We don't have to use giant factories to manufacture anything. I mean, you grow them in mycelium in a shed. We
Right.
could grow hundreds of thousands of pounds of healing mushrooms in small facilities for pennies
Yep.
because it doesn't cost anything.
Yep.
It's genetic clones of the same. We just
Right.
keep spreading it out. Same thing in the cannabis industry. The only cost in the cannabis industry is taxing each plant. That's why they cost money.
Right.
If we eliminated all this, cloning and growing large amounts of cannabinoids and functional mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, would cost almost nothing. And that is the future.
Totally.
Because these companies like profit. If it costs you nothing to create your product and it helps all these people,
Right.
you're making pure profit. You don't need to charge $1 million. You charge $15. 12 of them are profit. I mean, because you're just growing mushrooms.
Right.
So companies can make money. People can save money and get help. It's not like the pharmaceutical industry where the price is set by scumbags that own the medicine.
Right.
And we've seen this in the pharmaceutical industry. People rise the price to $1,000 a dose for some pill that costs 8 cents to press. That is criminal.
Totally criminal.
But plant medicine can't be criminal. We all know how easy mushrooms are grown and cannabis is grown. So it just won't work that way.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that these plant medicines actually circumvent the pharmaceutical industry. Like I just think there's such it's like a good ending to the story.
Because so many people are catching on that big pharma is a big disaster, and they're only in it for billions of dollars. They're not in it to help anybody.
Yeah, it's just poisoning humanity. I mean, there's some good that has come out of pharma, but man.
But it's minuscule.
Yeah,
it's minuscule.
Definitely a sliver. I mean,
modern medicine is sick. Is sick management. It's not healing. Healing is meditation. It's eating pure foods, organic foods with the right vibration, hanging around the right people with the right vibration, for goodness sakes.
You know
what I mean? Putting yourself in traveling, going out into the woods, refreshing your mind.
Yep.
This is all healthcare. And we really haven't been taught what actual healthcare is. Your grandmother did. I'm sure she told you are what you eat. And she must have learned it generations before from people who actually knew stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all that is the new healthcare. I mean, nutrition, just putting your phone down, getting outside, forest bathing, Shinrin Yoku, it's, what you talk about often, just getting back in nature.
And it's funny, I hear so many more mainstream doctors that are picking up what we've put down for 10 years. When I started working on the March Against Monsanto 12 years ago, actually it's 10 years ago, 11 now. 11 years ago, 2011 was when we started organizing for that. And I was diving into the research. There was so much information out that proves scientific peer-reviewed papers, you are what you eat. If you eat genetically modified foods, they go into your gut bacteria and they replicate the pesticide, glyphosate, in your body, which then travels through your gut and out your butthole. I don't know about you, but if my body is producing a pesticide, that's probably not good for me. And so the incidence of autism and celiac disease and on and the whole explosion of gluten-free diets comes from these chemicals and comes from the genetic change in the biome. And you can switch that. You can change your gut bacteria by what you eat. You want to eat fermented foods. You can start fermenting your own food. It's all about lactobacillus and other bacteria that go into your body. And what they do is they break down food the correct way to give you the correct nutrients to boost your own immune system so that you cannot get sick.
Right.
If you have all the micronutrients in your body readily available so that if something gets attacked and you need zinc and it's there, you won't get sick. But if you get attacked by a virus or a bacteria and you're deficient in some micronutrient and it's not there, then it's going to flourish and then you get sick.
Right.
We don't need to get sick. If we have the right nutrients in our body, we won't get sick. And if we have toxins on our body, we can eliminate them through fasts and then eat the right foods and not get sick. I mean, these are things we need to be teaching in schools. These are the things that governments need to be teaching populations. And we are really far from that. And thank God there's Hemplucid and Diamond at the Oppenheimer Ranch Project to do these programs, man. I mean,
just everything you said, just couldn't agree with more. Yeah. When I started to get actually really healthy and when my microbiome started to change is when I started fermenting my own foods. And it's just part of my routine 3 times a day. Fermented peppers, do a lot of sauerkraut, and raw milk. I've been on a raw milk kick lately, and I'm actually really impressed with the way my body feels after drinking raw milk. I mean, if that's a rabbit hole you want to dive into the whole raw milk, milk industry, and I mean, just another crime from big food, big ag that have been.
Yeah, big ag shut that down 2-3 years ago. We had access to all kind of raw milk. Then all the feds came in, they shut it all down. My neighbor had raw goat milk, and I can attest, like I was getting it by the half gallon, big mason jar. I would just chug out of that jar, maybe 8-12 ounces in the morning, and it's literally a drug.
Yes.
It was like probably 3 times more effective than my green juice, which has got beet powder in it, the full spectrum green, and then I also add golden milk in my juice in the morning. So it actually is 3 times more effective, this raw goat milk, than my green juice.
Yep. Yeah. I've been on this. It's been like a modified, I guess you could say, carnivore diet where it's just all I eat is meat, dairy, eggs, and I get my carbs from fruit. But oh my gosh, it's every time I eat in the morning. So my morning regimen is 3 eggs over medium, raw milk, and half a steak. And by the time I'm out the door coming to the office, it's like my energy and mental clarity is at a state that is just, it's been shocking to me. And like my vibration is at such a level that it feels like almost like a slight psychedelic trip. And I've never had that type of energy or vibration from plants, which has been like a really weird, like mind screwy thing that I've been dealing with, because it's like, yeah, you eat high nutrient dense plants, you should be able to reach this vibration, but I never got there like I have on raw milk, meat, and eggs. So it's, again, just trying to experiment and explore different diets and techniques. And
yeah, a lot of these plants have a karmic rating for their prana, right? Do you know that? Like garlic and onions have low pranic value, where certain vegetables like squash have a higher value. So you can actually look at this chart on vegetables and see which have higher vibrational energy and others. Some bring you down. Potatoes, garlic, onions, those are all the things I love. They all have terrible vibration. So if you're eating a plant-based diet and you're eating the wrong energy in the vegetables, you're going to feel like you felt.
Did you say pranic?
God, I wish Alan was here so I could ask him. It's a prana rating for all vegetables, and you can find like a guide.
Okay.
And
I'll
it's the
look that up.
vibrational pattern. So, and when Alan started telling me this, I was like, no wonder I don't like vegetarian diets, because when I eat vegetarian, I like fried potatoes, I like fried onions, I like
Yeah,
garlic.
right.
These are all the worst vegetables to eat. The ones I like the most.
Right.
And
Interesting.
so, and if you haven't delved into that, maybe that's what the issue is on your, as far as eating plant-based diet and low vibration, you're just not eating the right plants.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look into that.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up and I'll send you over the links if you can't find it when we're done here.
Okay.
That way you got a hold of it. But it's been a pleasure talking to you. We went a little over half hour, a little longer than I wanted.
Okay.
Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, just appreciate your audience, and times are gonna get tough, and we need each other, we need our community, and we need our medicine. So, as always, appreciate your community, and if any of you guys have questions, we have a great customer care team. Give us a call, or we have live chat. I've got a few people here who will answer your live chat in real time. So. Again, appreciate you, Diamond. Thank you for your time, and love you, and love your the community that you've built around your message.
Yeah, awesome. Hemplucid is an awesome company, one of the best CBD companies on earth. And I know that because the most bizarre, Leah's sister was recommended the product in Long Island, which is on the entire across the country here. So go check out Hemplucid, check out their website, check out their new products. Don't forget to put coupon code BOOM in for 30% off. If you're going to subscribe to one of the products, which is a monthly subscription where you get 30% off the first order, and then you put BOOM in, you'll double it. You'll get 60% off. It'll almost be free. And so let's just say you didn't like it. Maybe you could cancel your order. So this is a way to actually try a product for a low price. And I guarantee it's almost 99% of the people that use Hemplucid products come back and buy more. And that's why you were successful. You have so many customers that believe in the product and they continue to buy.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
So it speaks for itself. Chase, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Check out Hemplucid's website, hemplucid.com. Is that correct? Yes.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you soon, Chase.
All right, Diamond. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. That's a boom.